Welcome to another video. This is your Tactical Power Pro, and we're back working with another Firman W3300i inverter. The only thing I know about this generator is that it won't start. It could be something simple, or it can be something complicated. Let's find out. Let's give it a start. If you notice, the spark tester I got plugged in is not turning its light on. That already tells me that we have an ignition problem. To get access to the ignition coil, we have to remove the inverter module, the carburetor, the pull start assembly, and the housing. And here we have another problem. The airbox is leaking fuel. This is typically a sign of a dirty carburetor. Alright, so let's start by taking everything apart. Here we have another problem, a bad rope. Now we have to remove this side of the generator housing. It has a few screws holding it in place. Just remove them, and then you will be able to pull it out. With the inverter module out of the way, we got better view to the pull start assembly, and we got better access to remove the airbox and the carburetor. It looks like we have a pot of fuel here in the airbox. I'm not too worried. Once we pull the carburetor out, I'm going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, and that will take care of that issue. Let's focus on taking everything out so we can get access to the ignition coil. Here, when I was about to pull the carburetor out, I noticed problem number 4. We have some rusted out fuel clamps. Some got so bad they're not even there. I cracked the carburetor open, and we definitely have a dirty carburetor. The float was stuck open, and I was able to free it up just by moving it up and down a little bit. But let's go ahead and put on the ultrasonic cleaner. While the carburetor is taking a good bath, we can keep on working on the rest of the generator. The pull rope, I'm going to leave it for later. Let's focus on trying to get access to the ignition coil. Looks like it has 4 bolts holding this assembly in place. Let's remove those. Alright, so I was able to remove 3 out of 4 bolts. Not bad, not bad. This bottom one was a pain, so I left it there. I just pulled open the cover and pinched it in that stud, the carburetor stud. That way I have some room. I can get access to the ignition coil from here. Before I pulled the ignition coil out, I decided to take the fuel tank out, because underneath the fuel tank there's a connector clip that goes from the ignition coil to the control panel. I removed the 4 bolts holding the tank in place. Now I have way better access to get to that clip. Fuel is still in the tank. It's to a level that when I remove the fuel hose for the clamp later on, I won't have any issue. With the 10mm socket, just undid the 2 bolts holding the ignition coil, pull it out. And here's a potential cause of why the ignition coil was not working properly. The cable is cut, so it might be making contact with the engine block, grounding the ignition coil circuit out. Let's say goodbye to the old coil and let's welcome in the new ignition coil. The new coil is installed. The best way to get the gap between the coil and the magnet is using a business card. Never fails. Once you got the correct gap, make sure the flywheel spins without issues. You shouldn't have any problem. Alright, so now let's fix the rope. You say, yeah, that's not broken entirely, but it's better off taking care of it now than putting everything back together. Do one pull and just snap that rope. Let's just replace the rope with a new one. These OEM ropes are not that good. The one I have is skinnier, but it's way stronger rope and better quality, which will work great. To replace a new rope is simple. Just get the correct length of rope. I say around 3 to 3.5 feet. Once you got the rope tied to the recoil wheel, all you gotta do is just turn that wheel counterclockwise. Watch. A quick note, some pull rope assemblies have that little notch where you can put the rope in the recoil wheel, making it easier for you to turn counterclockwise. Now this is key right here. Use your right thumb to hold the wheel in place, while with your left hand you control the rope and turn counterclockwise. Every time you turn counterclockwise, you are putting pressure on that wheel, because what it's doing, the recoil is getting tighter and tighter. If you let go, that's going to spring back at you with some force. Typically around the 3rd or 4th turn should be enough. But remember to keep pressure on that right thumb. Once you're done with your turns, pull the rest of the rope out and now slowly start recoiling in the new rope. And there you have it. That's how you replace and retight a new rope. The ultrasonic cleaner is done. Let's see how the carburetor looks. This thing cleans the carburetor really good. Next step is to spray it down with some carburetor cleaner just to get all that residue out. Alright, so we have a clean carburetor, a new ignition coil, and a brand new rope. Let's give it a start. Still no spark.
What? What the?
We still got no spark, so I wanted to check out things look behind the ignition switch. And surprise, surprise, I found problem number 5. I guess that unwanted guest must have found the taste electrifying.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So the two shoot wires, they come out of the control panel, and if you follow them back, they are the wires that connects to the ignition coil. Thus, there was no communication between the ignition module and the ignition coil. So I went ahead and added some wire connectors so we can complete that circuit. Okay, so the shoe wires are fixed, new pull rope, clean carb, and new ignition coil. Let's see if we got spark. We got great news and bad news. Great news, we got ignition, we got spark, generator's running. Bad news, it's running like shit. But I realized I did not connect the inverter module. So problem number 6. Alright, so new coil, new rope, new clamps, clean carb, fixed wires, and inverter module connected. Let's start it. So great, the generator is running, but now I'm gonna put everything back together so I can move on to a load test. So this is a 3000 running watts inverter generator Right now I have a little bit over 1500 watts connected to it, so it's running at 50% of its capacity without issues. This was a simple fix. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll see you guys on the next one.